Arnold Schwarzenegger stars in his first live-action scripted show ever for Netflix. I would not say, though, it's exactly breaking new ground for the actor. Let's talk about Fubar. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the new Netflix series Fubar. This is streaming right now, and all 8 episodes, of course, are up at once. Netflix always does it that way. And this is Arnold Schwarzenegger's really first foray into this, scripted live action programming in terms of a regular series role. And we're going to talk about all of that here in just a moment. But first, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We've got a ton of great stuff on the channel, both TV and movie related content that you can check out. And please consider subscribing down below, or like this video, share it on your socials, comment below. All that stuff does help the channel out. All right, Arnold Schwarzenegger plays Luke Bruner, who is a CIA operative, and so is his daughter, Emma, but neither of them know about it. They've been keeping this secret from each other for years and years, in Luke's case for decades and decades, really. But they learned the truth about each other in the first episode and realize from there that they're going to have to work together without knowing really anything about the other. And his daughter Emma is played by Monica Barbaro, who you may know from a few things, but recently she was in the cast of Top Gun Maverick, so you probably saw her there. Most of the world did, but she's been in a few other TV shows and movies along the way. Also in this is Gabrielle Luna as a big-time arms dealer, Fortune Feimster, who plays one of the comedy relief character, really, but she is one of the operatives on Luke's team, and Jay Baruchel here, as well as Emma's boyfriend, who teaches kindergarten. And yes, there are a couple of, teaching kindergarten, how hard can that be, references, of course, regarding Arnold Schwarzenegger's kindergarten cop tenure. And that's really kind of this show in a nutshell. It is sort of rehashing the greatest hits from Arnold, which, he's really kind of been doing the last, 10 years maybe in his movies and now this TV show. It sort of plays like an Arnold greatest hits record. You do, sort of the jokey kind of whatever, not references necessarily, but, the one-liners, the puns. And here we're really specifically referencing certain aspects of his career, certain movies, like with the couple of kindergarten cop jokes. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Arnold is at a stage in his career where he certainly does not take himself too seriously. Nick Cage is in a similar, having a similar moment there with his projects lately. I think that is probably a good way to go about it. He's sort of done this same routine for 30, 40 years at this point, the alpha male, and Sylvester Stallone, same thing. He just took his first, I believe his first series role with Tulsa King, which did pretty well for him. I found it a little bit more middling than this, but he sort of is going the opposite, I think, than Arnold. He's taking himself too seriously, although, well, we can get into Tulsa King a different time, I guess. I did do a review on that a couple of years ago. But here, Arnold isn't necessarily the comic relief. But they're certainly poking fun at that persona. As a result, there's nothing really new here. But longtime Arnold fans of, really those big action movies, and maybe even things like The Last Action Hero in the 90s and some of his more comedic roles, will, I think, find something to like here, because he's not reinventing himself. He's not trying to be something he's not. But at the same time, this is actually a mildly compelling show. And it's funny because, this other show that I'm going to reference came out a few months ago, but I just recently reviewed it because its first and now only season wrapped up. But CBS did a revamp of True Lies, which is an old Arnold show, obviously, with some of the similar things here, sort of keeping what you do from your family, and them finding out the truth, and then they team up with you. That's, kind of the premise of True Lies in a way, right? And so CBS, tackled that show, which I thought was a horrible telling of the story. The acting was not great, and this, that, and the other thing. And again, I have a review of True Lies from a few weeks ago, and I'll actually put that to close this video, so you can just click that link if you're interested. But here, this is kind of the show I wish the True Lies TV show was, because it's got a lot of similar elements thematically, but I think there's more interesting characters, and there's the compelling Arnold Schwarzenegger nature of it all. He really is fun to watch on the screen. I didn't really grow up necessarily with his movies. I wasn't really allowed to watch like those heavy R-rated action movies. I didn't see any of the Terminator movies till much later. Predator, much later. Total Recall, for some reason, was one that we did watch a lot, but when that came out, I was already like 13 or 14, so it was more palatable. But when I was a kid in the heyday, and I just was not allowed to watch those movies. So a lot of people, though, that were and have loved Arnold for their whole lives, I think are going to enjoy this, because it's not sort of, oh, Arnold's past his prime. He's, by the time you're poking fun at yourself and being meta, you've kind of, jumped the shark or whatever. But, he's kind of been doing that since Last Action Hero, I feel like, in a lot of his movies. So I don't think it's necessarily new, but I think he's having a blast with it. And some of those movies, back in those 90s sort of era, I don't know if he was necessarily in on the joke. He did the movies, but I'm not sure if he fully sort of understood, that he was kind of the joke a little bit. And here I think he is in on it. He's having a blast doing it. And I think that shows. And the chemistry is good with him and Barbaro. But again, it's not necessarily, doing anything completely different. It's definitely better than the CBS True Lies show. I wish that was more, what this ended up being. So look, this is certainly a little bit middling, and it's going to vary greatly on how invested you are in the career of Arnold Schwarzenegger, how much you like that sort of macho Schwarzenegger template that he created 40 some years ago. For me, okay, I'm a mild fan. I don't follow his career like a lot of people have, but I've always enjoyed him, and I think he's an affable dude, and I love that he's being able to have fun this late in his career with, kind of poking a little bit of fun at some of his earlier choices or whatever. So with that, I leave Fubar with a C+. I think if you're a diehard Arnold fan, I think, your grade will go up significantly from that. But if you're not so much, it will go down, because it really is a lot of the same there. So, but you can check out all 8 of those episodes now on Netflix. Thank you for watching Dan Reviews It. We'll see you next time. Bye.